understanding. So this world's a crazy place. But I want to equip myself so I can make the best assessment of our situation. And that's what you should be doing as well as me. That's why I've never was able to become a father, because I don't feel comfortable making children. I don't feel comfortable making children. And like I always said, I said that before, I lost my father a long time ago. And I can't imagine, raising a child in this environment. With these raccoons, they definitely were defending the perpetrators and victimizing they victimize the victims. They're victimizing the oppressor and placing shame upon the victims. They're like a rapist enabler. The one that enables and then they make excuses about how they dressed. The woman had dressed before they got raped, and that's why they got raped, and all that type of craziness, and they try to defending the oppressor is like, just kissing the oppressor's ass every chance they can get just to get a few extra dimes, quarters, and pennies, and not really do anything, and it's not worth it, really. And so although I'm tired of talking about this stuff, I continue to, because I guess that's why that's my purpose in life right now. That's my purpose in life, so I'm here, man. And as I said before, we just gotta go ahead and say it again. Police are untrustworthy. You can't even sleep in the parking lot. In the parking lot with the engine off. Parked. You might be without receiving some type of stuff going on, without receiving something. I wish my mom wouldn't have suppressed her feelings when she was going through a lot of her stuff. Because of her suppression, it didn't prepare me for the world around me, because she suppressed her feelings. She suppressed and hid the truth from a lot of us. A lot of us, that's why, so we have to teach ourselves now, as a grown person, instead of learning as a child and growing up and having an understanding of what was going on, so you could be better prepared for the world around us. I remember one time I was in my car, and the cops had I was in my car because I got tired. I worked 3-4 jobs, and then I was driving back from one of them, and I got so tired I had to pull off, and I, to the side and I found a Kroger's parking lot, with Kroger Plaza parking lot, and I parked over there in one of the parking spaces, and I went to sleep, and I heard a knock on the door, and knocking. After I was sleeping a while, I got her knocking, and I looked over and I saw a cop, and I was almost jumped out. I'm like, oh man, what the hell, man? But I had to roll my window down and asked him. He said, "Oh, we called to check, what was want to see what was going on." I'm just tired. I'm taking a nap, taking a nap, man. I don't know who could have called people like that. Why would they call, the police on someone like me for taking a nap? It's only the natural thing to do is to fall asleep. Or if you're drunk, you're tired, you want to sleep off the drunkenness, you want to sleep off you can't even do that. Then with all, there's that, and then there's the hangings and all that stuff that bothers me. It all bothers me, man. It bothers me to think that this stuff is still going on. This stuff will still be going, after I leave here, I don't want stuff to still be going on like that. I think we need to go, but we live to win, man. We live to beat these things. So, I wish my mother didn't suppress the truth. And I think a lot of our parents suppress their feelings and hid some stuff. My mother hid the fact that she was molested, and as well as some other things. They hide from you. They hide. I think the fact that my father didn't get to probably get the GI Bill was hidden, and other hurts was there that are hidden every day, and it's just not fair. It's just not fair that we go through this stuff, man. I also want to say a big applause for the great from South Central. He's in the chat. My original show was going to be about the suppression, the suppression of feelings and how things worked against us from, how suppression of things also hurt us, later in life, and we should be made to know about this stuff. Like, you had some uncles. People say they, and had some uncles that was and all that stuff, or and they chased one of them into to their own death, and all kinds of stuff that happened. Emmett Till wasn't the first episode of any of that stuff happening. Stuff has been happening forever. They just got these others. They pick and choose. They cherry pick the stories that are given to us, and you make it seem like, oh, that's just a small incident of what's happened. Usually, it's a small incident of what's happened, but it's really always freaking happening. But we normalize it. We normalize our mistreatment, and we suppress our feelings due to those hurts and those pains inside. So that's what's been happening, y'all. And then we was going through the pandemic this year, and I do miss sports because it was a way to get free from everything. But now you just can't deny the undeniable. You just can't deny it anymore. But like you said, following Neely Fuller, when Neely Fuller was on, he was talking about the United Independent Compensatory Code and the concept, and then the word guy, you pick up those books, he was talking about that stuff on. He goes to that stuff all the time, and folks was asking him black cops happened, and he had brought up the three T's that goes with that, and he said he definitely has but it's also indirect. It's like indirectly. White supremacy has an indirect effect on that, and those people weren't really. Those folks were still confused, man, and folks were still confused about that. Like, you gotta have an understanding of what's going on around the world around you, and because you can't. And he had his own definition of justice. And justice, he said, is to ensure that all people, those that needs the help the most, gets it, and to ensure that no one is mistreated. That was his definition of justice, which I will now take as my definition of what justice is, because the Webster definition don't really cover it the way it should be. We gotta ensure everybody that needs help gets it the most. That needs help the most gets that help. We have to ensure that. was another thing he had said that was very important too. But I suggest y'all read that. Listen to that episode. If you go on it, if you get the chance, go on to produce.com and listen to that episode. It was a pretty good episode there. Okay, so I've been in the chat room. People aren't really saying much. They're saying hello to each other. But I see Andrew wrote, I had someone call the police on me while I was sleeping in a car in Queens in 1991. That was just a year before we get graduated, Andrew. At 18 for sleeping in your car? And Queens was supposed to be like the biggest. They was at the time saying that Queens was like the where black folks are actually doing better than black folks and better than white folks over there in Queens. The average person that's making money in Queens is the black average is people are making more money than the ones the white ones are making it over there. I remember that news report was going out like there, but it doesn't affect. But they called the police. Yeah, that stuff's scary, man. It's scary when you see that happen. I remember listening to one show where this brother was talking that he was they knocked on his door and they said he was wanted for some type of fraud and some stuff that happened, and it was a case of mistaken identity. And they took it to him. They put him in jail, and they told, he said he was trying to plead his case, and they said, they gave him comments. That's what they all say. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what happens to us, man. And a lot of us get, these traumatized by these episodes like that. Andrew says he was hurting. I mean, that they did this. They called the police on him in Repo Park. Yeah, Queens was supposedly a good area. I used to go visit. We used to visit my mother's goddaughter down there. In Queens, they had a nice big house, And in New York, we went through a lot of stuff in Yonkers, They also they had us living in these these things called ghettos and stuff, and the roaches would take over my sock drawer, man. I hated that shit. Roaches everywhere, take over your daggone sock drawer, man. You can't even go to your drawer to get a pair of socks without the being in there. Man, it's just one of the worst conditions that we are forced to live under, man. And then you can't even do the normal things that we supposed to do. Can't jog, can't ride a bike, man. So it's hard to ignore racism, man. Hard to ignore. But I'm going to attempt to do that. I'm going to have to probably bring in a guest. I got to bring in my first guest someday. One of these days. And we're going to have to talk about something else. I'm going to have a subject of something else. But, it's hard to pay attention. It's hard to watch entertainment. And then, I was talking about that earlier. The raccoons is big. All these, the white guys committing it. Everybody's in on things, and everybody wants to kick dirt in our face. And then I remember this episode. That Gangsta Griff had put in. Gangsta Griff put a little portion on our box during messages at Facebook. And he said they had a interview. They was like, not really, was it an interview or a show they had on a Christian show? And this pastor Lou Giglio, he was saying that white, he called
white privilege is he felt like it was a white blessing, and then they